Hello, welcome back to Small Couch Review. It's your boy Sam.
It's your boy Joby.
It's been a little while, but we are back here to talk about all things pop culture from the comfort of a small couch.
Very small couch.
Yeah. I mean, we switched couches quite a bit, but this one might actually be the smallest one we've sat on. Sitting here in what we call the Nash Blurred Museum, under construction. All of this will be full, so video after video, maybe you'll see a little bit more every time. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today, we're here to answer a question. The question is the DCEU, even though that's not what it's officially called, is it actually all that bad? Yes. The answer is yes. But a little complicated as to why. So let's talk about that. So, Joey, DCEU started in 2013 with Man of Steel.
Okay.
Alright, that was the first movie. By then, the MCU had already started with Iron Man, and I think its entire Phase 1 had been finished by then, actually. And they were on to Phase 2. Mm-hmm. Since Man of Steel to right now, to the last movie, The Suicide Squad, do you know how many movies there have been in the DCEU? There have been 10. In that same amount of time, do you know how many movies there have been in the MCU?
30.
18 movies, starting with Iron Man 3, ending with Black Widow, which just came out.
Okay.
So, in that span, so that's almost double, right?
Yeah.
And they've pretty much been quality movies. But even if I'm not counting that, let's count all 20, I think 25 of them now that they have. I think in that span, there have been, I can count on 2 fingers the number of movies that have been pretty much, like, I guess, quote-unquote, panned by the audiences and critics.
Thor: Dark World.
That's one of them. Yup.
And what else?
Iron Man 2. The second one. With Whip Guy.
Yes. It was cheesy.
I think it's just like looking back. Like I watched it recently, so I wanted to know why people thought it was so bad. Yeah. I should look this up. But then, and when I say bad, they all made money. So let's get that out the way. But I'm just saying, like,
you know what? I could watch that before I watch Dark World again.
Yeah, Dark World. I think that was the bottom of it. But yeah, but anyway,
recently said he had some mental issues after people talked about it.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
That is sad. Don't do that. It's just a movie at the end of the day. But so those 2. And Iron Man 2, like I was just saying, I watched it recently. I think they made that movie literally as a placeholder until they got the Avengers going. Like honestly. But anyway, but so that's 2 movies out of 25. But do you know how many movies, like honestly, I think have been truly until recently have been truly terrible in DCU?
No.
The same number. The answer is 2.
2.
Let's think about it. And this is why I say it's a little complicated. I'm one of the people, when Man of Steel first came out in 2013, if you go back in time to 8 years ago, in 2013 when that movie came out, after that movie came out, there were very few people who disliked it.
Yeah.
They were like, wow, this was what I wanted in a Superman movie. The action scenes were amazing. There were people who didn't like that, spoiler alert, Superman killed in the movie. But for the general consensus, the movie was awesome. It was a huge success. The critics loved it. The fans loved it. Everything, right? But I noticed that, I've said this a lot after that movie, I was like, I didn't get to learn about Clark Kent or Lois Lane.
Nope.
I'm happy to see what's going to happen next. And then the next movie we got...
And we didn't get that at all.
We never got that.
No.
And then we had a terrible stretch until Wonder Woman in 2017. But between 2013 and 2017, you would think there was a bunch of movies. There was Suicide Squad, and then there was Batman vs. Superman. And that was it. And I'm saying, I think those 2 movies destroyed the DCEU.
I feel like I'm like the only one that doesn't hate Batman vs. Superman.
No, I know there are some people who like parts of it. Yeah. Like, they like some parts of the Batman. He was the best part of the movie, the Batman.
Oh, yeah. No.
But I think universally...
Ben Affleck Batman is like... I don't know what it is. It's like, I like that Batman a lot.
No, I mean, no, there were some parts of it that were good. And I mean, Snyder Cut, which we'll get to later, he was really good. But I think those two movies are the worst two DC movies. I mean, so look, after that we had Wonder Woman, which, I mean, I don't know how that ain't bounced back. I don't know how the box office bounced back after that, because I thought DC was done after that.
That was a great movie, except for Mustache Man.
Right, in the end.
Amazing movie. And then I was like...
We had that. We had Birds of Prey, which I actually liked.
I like Birds of Prey.
And I think the critics liked it too. We had Shazam, which I know you didn't like, but a lot of people. That was the closest thing to Marvel, so I think that's why it did so well. And
I think that's why I didn't like it.
Right.
I feel like they were trying... Like, it's not that it was a bad movie. It's when I was watching it, I was just like... I just didn't... You guys tried to be Marvel, and it was like the jokey joke. It was so jokey, and I'm just like, I don't really get that when I even look at any DC characters. I don't get jokey and fun.
Oh, well, I do. Some of them I like that.
It just didn't. I mean, I understand he's a kid, so that like makes sense. But
right.
It was just like.
I mean, but I think I dug it. And then we had, of course, most recently the Suicide Squad. And oh wait, I'm sorry. There was a Wonder Woman 1984. I think that one pretty much that was bad. That was bad. So I'm sorry.
That movie never happened.
I forgot about that one. But point being,
the worst thing about being quarantined was that movie.
Right. The point I'm trying to make is the DCEU hasn't lived that. I mean, it's lived long, but there haven't been that many movies in it, and you could like the same number of movies. Like I'm trying to say, in the MCU are bad as in the DCEU.
But if it's 2 out of a lower number, then that's worse.
Okay, no, I agree. But here's what I'm saying. I think it was so bad because of the movie they messed up on.
Oh, okay.
Bad, like, they messed up on their cornerstone characters.
Yeah.
Like the characters that make their company.
Yeah. Everybody knows Batman
and Superman.
Yeah.
And I really think that is why the DCEU just fell on its face. Like, you messed that up. I mean, why should we give you another chance? Like, look at Marvel. When you think of Marvel, who do you think of immediately?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. You think of Spider-Man. Then we have the X-Men. Mm-hmm. There's the Fantastic Four. Marvel had none of these characters. They had to use what they had to make this stuff. They even they had half the Avengers because they couldn't use Quicksilver and Wanda at first, right? The comics had to change what they were. And they made hits out of them. Yeah. But then, with DC, you only get one shot at a good first impression. And somehow we gave them 2. Because, Batman vs. Superman came out, and it was bad. They were like, you know what, maybe it's Zack Snyder. Maybe it was just a bad one-off. But then Suicide Squad came out, and we were like, all right, you guys don't know how to make movies. Like, it was just bad. And since then, they haven't recovered. I honestly think Wonder Woman did as well as it did simply because it was the character Wonder Woman, and that's it. Like, if another Superman movie were to come out after that, I honestly don't think it would have done as well as Justice League. I'm sorry, I think it would have done as well as Justice League, which isn't well at all. Which is another movie I forgot to mention. Aquaman was that movie made $1 billion. I think that's the only movie they have that made $1 billion. By the way, I don't think Aquaman was a great movie, but I had a lot of fun watching it. I thought it was a fun movie to watch. It was not a good Aquaman movie, but I could watch that. Yeah.
That scene in the water town when like everything is just that continuous shot.
Oh yeah, when they're chasing them through the buildings. Yeah, that was great.
That alone makes that movie better than the 2 were mentioned.
Yeah,
it's bad. It's bad. They make amazing animated films. Why the fuck can't they make a movie?
So I was just about to say that since
you gotta put a dolphin chirping or chirping. I
don't even know what that.
When I cursed.
Yeah. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, I'm not gonna take the time to edit that.
It doesn't make sense.
No, yeah. So I was literally saying this. They had a Suicide Squad movie called Escape from Arkham.
Yeah.
That was 10 times better than the David Ayer Suicide Squad movie we got in 20.
So I will say something about the David Ayer Suicide Squad. A lot of stuff that we mentioned that people were upset about Man of Steel. I mean, Batman vs. Superman, like, we didn't get any, like, build-up. We didn't get anything, like, any character development. They tried to do that, and they did too much of it. I don't need to know everybody's backstory for me to enjoy the characters, and that's where they fucked up.
Yeah, so they introduced Deadshot, like his backstory, like 3 times in that movie. I remember it. And then the actual story, like what they were doing, that seemed to take a backseat. So I kind of get that. So.
It just didn't feel like Suicide Squad. And like this new movie really felt like Suicide
No, I agree.
Squad. Like it just.
I think that's why, like, I think they like, again, after Man of Steel, I feel like the CW universe was better than what they pumped out after Man of Steel, right? Until they hit. I can't even say when until like honestly if without HBO Max I don't know if the studio would still be around, bro. Like I mean, because the Snyder Cut was pretty good, and this movie we just got I think was like the pinnacle of the DC universe.
And I'm still upset about the whole Snyder Cut thing because it was like it was really good, and it's like y'all fucked up.
Yeah, but they didn't He didn't earn that movie with what he gave us before. Well, that's a whole other discussion.
They're two extremes. I think that's what it is with them. It's either not developed enough, or they're just throwing action at you. But like the animated movies are amazing. The dialogue is amazing. And it's animated. Like the acting seems better in these freaking animated films.
I honestly I don't like it. Sometimes makes me wonder. Like I know there are different divisions in their company, but it really makes me want. Like it seems like it's two different like studios because it doesn't make sense that the animated movie like just not even forget the action scenes, just the stories alone.
The stories and the acting are so good. Like just get the same writers to write your movie.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I mentioned there are 10 movies in these 8 years. There have been delays in the DCEU for no end. Black Adam was announced in 2011, I think. The Flash was announced way back then. Cyborg never happened.
Cyborg never happened is not fair because his
character was amazing. Yeah. So I mean,
it's just real dirty.
Yeah, they did. It's unfortunate that it's so bad because when you really think about it, it was completely avoidable. It really, really was. Even if you wanted to do it the way they wanted to do it with, hey, we're gonna introduce these people in the Justice League, develop them in the Justice League, then give them their own solo stories, fine.
Yeah.
But you literally kind of just assumed people wouldn't care about the product you put out. And you gave us 2 horrible movies after Man of Steel. To the point where people today actually don't even like Man of Steel. Like they're like, everything about this is bad. Like if you look at people's top DCEU list, Man of Steel's not on it. And I can't disagree because it's like, in retrospect, it's a pretty bad movie considering what you did.
Compared to what we have now.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it, if I had to rank my top 4, Suicide Squad, Shazam, Wonder Woman, and Birds of Prey, Aquaman would be somewhere there. But, I mean... and
I agree with that list.
Yeah.
Man of Steel would be 5th.
Maybe 6th or 7th for me. But yeah, point being, DCEU, you could have done better.
I don't think they could, because they're not doing it.
Well, I think
Suicide Squad was great.
I think the good news for DC is they seem to be course correcting now. They seem to have, I don't want to say learned from their mistakes. I think they know that what they've done is really bad because people have clowned them forever, or have clowned them a lot about it. So they're starting to course correct now.
Is Black Adam going to be serious?
Probably.
I don't think that's going to sell for them because they're tried so hard to get to the comedy side of it. I actually personally love the darkness of DC movies.
It doesn't sell.
But it doesn't sell. So if you're going to do a serious, and then you're going to have Black Adam and the next Shazam, and you're just going to be sitting there like, does he fit? And then it's The Rock. All you're going to see is The Rock.
Well, I don't think you have to go to one extreme or another. You don't have to be like look at Captain America: Winter Soldier, for example. That wasn't a super serious movie, but it was serious. It had some gravitas, but there was still comedy in it.
And that's in my top 3.
I think like The Winter Soldier is not even just a good example of a good superhero movie. Yeah. I think it's a good example of a great movie overall. Yeah. That's in my top 5 movies, period.
But I think it's that's the thing that Marvel has done. They've learned how to make good movies out of superhero movies, even though, what is that famous director?
Scorsese,
yeah. He may hate superhero movies, but they're actually... Marvel has found a way to make them good movies.
No, yeah, so they work really hard on these movies. Yeah. So that was it was just something I was thinking about that I wanted to talk about, bro. I mean, because I was like, man, we had 2 really horrible movies that seemed to derail this, and the MCU has had 2 really bad movies, but of course they continuously put out quality. And I think it happened so early in DC's lifetime. Mm-hmm. These 2 more bad movies with their 2 most iconic characters that it was kind of unforgivable. So we'll see where we go from now. I mean, we have the Flash coming, we have the Batman coming, Black Adam, and we're getting Batgirl on HBO and Green Lantern on HBO. We're getting 2 Black Supermen. So we'll see what happens, man. Maybe we'll start getting some quality stuff and then 10 years from now, we'll be like, hey, you remember when the DCEU was really bad? Because then it'll be good, but we'll see.
10 years.
But DCEU.
See you guys in 10 years.
Right. DCEU. You guys agree that it's pretty bad like we think it is? Do you think it can be redeemed? Let us know your thoughts. Until next time, we out.
Deuces.
Thank you.